Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the gentleman from Mississippi for yielding. Let's be very clear about what this is about. This is about following the law. We negotiate, we vote, we pass laws, the President signs them, and they should be enforced. That's what this conversation is about, Madam Speaker. STEM Express has thumbed its nose against the Select Investigative Panel and obstructed our efforts to bring light to the fetal tissue procurement industry. Nearly a year ago, the panel requested information from STEM Express regarding where they procure their fetal tissue, who they distribute the fetal tissue to, any communications instructing company employees to produce fetal tissue, and all accounting records and bank records related to fetal tissue. STEM Express, in response to that request, have given us none, zero, no documents. So, to compel STEM Express to provide the panel with this information, the panel issued a company subpoena. Instead of complying with the subpoena, STEM Express only turned over limited information to the panel, and the information that they turned over to us was so heavily redacted that it was completely useless for investigative purposes. To date, the Select Panel has not received a single accounting or bank record from STEM Express. So they failed to comply with our requests and our subpoenas in violation of the law. If STEM Express is within its limits of the law, if nothing is illegal or immoral, then why does STEM Express refuse to turn over all the documents that our panel has requested? Opening your accounting records to a congressional panel shouldn't be that difficult. STEM Express has had plenty of time to get their act together and provide us with the requested documents that we've asked for. Other organizations we've reached out to and made the same request have turned over the documents in a pretty timely fashion. For failure to comply with our subpoenas, this panel has recommended the House hold Kate Dyer, the CEO of STEM Express, in contempt of Congress. Despite STEM Express's best efforts to stonewall this investigation, the panel did find out the name of STEM Express's bank, and we subpoenaed it. The bank provided us with STEM Express's banking records. So again, STEM Express won't give us the records, but we got them from the bank. We now know why STEM Express was hiding the documents. The banking records reveal that STEM Express may have been shredding documents that were directly related to this panel's investigation. The bank records show that payments were made to a shredding company. And we look back, all the records we saw from STEM Express back to 2012, there is no payments to a shredding company. But when this panel started its investigation, when we started asking for documentation, guess what? You have bank records that show they hired a shredding company. Why hire a shredding company when we're starting our investigation? Okay, 30 seconds.
Inquire as to how much time we have remaining.
Gentleman has 3 minutes remaining.
How much?
3 minutes.
15 seconds.
One more minute.
How much on my side?
Gentlelady has 16 minutes.
Just 3 seconds.
We'll yield an additional 1 minute.
Gentleman yields additional 1 minute. The gentleman is recognized.
There's no cause, no reason why STEM Express would allegedly shred these documents. We both know on both sides of the aisle, though we may have a disagreement on this issue, that when this Congress sends a lawful request to an institution, they're required to provide the documents that are requested. Both sides of the aisle know that when we send a subpoena, those who are subpoenaed are required to provide those documents to us. So STEM Express has failed to comply with these requests and these subpoenas, and if they're willing to violate the law in regard to subpoenas to hide information, the question becomes, what laws are they willing to violate in regard to the sale of baby body parts? I think that question deserves to be answered by STEM Express, by this institution, and for the American people. So I would ask support for this additional funding to complete this investigation and provide documentation to this country and to this House about what's been taking place in regard to the procurement and sale of fetal tissue. I yield back.